And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
I was just thinking, remember the one, the possessed woman in the Vatican?
No.
Vatican possession?
No, I remember that one. Yeah.
Pope
Terrible.
Exorcist.
Yeah, so you were really glad that it was only an hour and 20.
Big hat, small demon.
Yeah.
Crucifix this one up yourself. Thank God. I really want to go out and laugh. Jesus.
Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle, Season 10, Episode 7, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me I have a man who rushed to the gym this week because he heard they had free weights. It's Mike McDonough. Also beside me I have a lady who is disappointed to find that the magazine headline Bieber's on Fire was a metaphor. It's Shona of Canada, O'Flaherty. Live from Vegas we have a man who goes to bars to solve his problems and create new ones. It's Sean Leonard. And in the red corner, it's our cuddly killer, a man who can't stop telling people how humble he is. It's Mark, superhero Leonard. This week we'll be discussing some movies in the shape of Deadpool and Mustang, and some TV in the form of Making a Murderer. Did I get that right?
You did, yes.
Okay, and You, Me, and the Apocalypse. Of course, I'll have the usuals with the news and some previews. I'm coming to a bicycle near you.
So my phone rings.
Straight in there. Ring.
My phone rings, and I look and I say, fuck, I don't know that number. So I answered and go, hi, this is Mark, assuming it's work. And it's not. And the guy on the other side of the line goes, Mark, we meet again.
No way!
I went, no way! I went, George, real name changed to protect the innocent. And he goes, yeah, how's it going? Now, this might seem very, very friendly and an amusing story, but he was only fucking ringing me because I'd rang him a bunch of times and he hadn't picked up.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but at least he rang me back, right? So he rings me back and he said, look, I'm really sorry. I'm having real trouble getting a check out of these people. Mm-hmm. Would some kind of credit transfer to your bank account be okay? And I said, is this some kind of scam? Do I now have to tell you my bank details? And like my mother's maiden name and stuff. And he said, no. He said, but we'll be able to do a credit transfer a lot easier if you want to email me your bank account. I said, oh, so it is a scam then. And he kind of laughed. He said, well, it's up to yourself. Like, but if you want me to try a credit transfer, I think that'll go through easier because I won't have to go through the re-roll, getting a check organized. And I said, well, all right. So send him the bank details on faith. And I've heard nothing yet. Oh. That was Friday.
Sure, that'll take 10 working days, Mark. Yeah. 10 working days. Sure,
you don't have to hear anything, Mark. You just need the dollar bills.
Yeah. Fact.
Are they in your
he
accounts?
told me that he was off on Monday. So when you're off on Monday and you come in on Tuesday, it's going to be the afternoon before you have your head above the parapet again, before you're above water even. Mm-hmm. So I rang him at 1:00, just a couple rings and hung up. So he'd look and go, oh yeah, I must do that when I get back from lunch.
Yeah.
Then I gave him his lunch hour in peace. Came back then at 2:30 and tried ringing him and he hasn't answered. So I am poised now to send a solicitor's letter.
Oh, we're getting serious.
Yeah, I can't wait for the money, man. Shona said I need the dollar bill, yo.
Yeah, for sure. Or you could start adding interest.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a thing that private citizens can do.
I don't know.
Should have the banks can
Mark's
do it.
money, the bank of Mark. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Only seems fair. Oh, jeez, Mark.
So the Grammys happened.
Yeah.
Yes. They're only airing in Ireland like right now, so I was watching them right before I came over to the studio.
Oh, well, maybe we can swap highlights for the Grammys.
Yeah,
Sean,
go, Sean.
Because I specifically avoided all of the awards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No interest. And also I feel like I could just look at a list of those things later on.
That's true.
What I was excited about was James Corden and his car karaoke on the way to the Grammys. Have you guys ever watched any of these?
Yeah.
I've heard about it.
Is this about Bieber?
Let me tell you.
Okay.
In the past 20 hours, isn't everything? In the past 20 hours, there have been 3 things that have made me go, do you know what, Justin Bieber? Maybe not a complete and total waste of humanity.
Oh.
Now, we'll be talking about one of them next week, so I won't spoil that. But right now, I want to talk about the 2 car karaokes that he did. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, if you're on the internet because you believe that network television is devoid of originality and talent and creativity, and you just like watching YouTube for free anyway, hop on over to James Corden's YouTube channel for The Late Show and check out both of his Justin Bieber car karaokes. It's very fun.
Justin Bieber's image rehabilitation is going strong.
Really is.
But
does
let's not
music
forget
style.
what a little pipsqueak he was.
Well, he was 16.
He needs more time for me in order to be fully rehabilitated. He might have a few catchy singles, and my sister might swoon over his new haircut, but
Blondes
that boy...
have more fun.
Pardon?
Blondes have more fun.
As long as he is responsible and mature with his fun. I have a librarian sense of fun, apparently.
Speaking of blonde young people, Sage Northcutt, did you hear any interviews of that guy?
I know of him, yes, indeed.
Sage Northcutt, the new phenom in the UFC, or at least he was till he lost 2 weeks ago. He is 19, seems to be a very talented guy, and the UFC decided to push him, and he was very much over with the crowd, with the UFC crowd. And he, much like Conor McGregor actually, his losses are anticipated just as eagerly as his fights.
Yeah.
So he did lose, and he lost in pretty, I would have said, embarrassing fashion. He was fighting a guy off the reality TV show Looking for a Fight. That's where Dana White went around the place looking for guys that he could throw into the cage and possibly pay very little.
Yeah.
He lost to one of those guys. Now, he moved up a weight category, but he basically did what Joe Rogan calls an early tap. Like, he tapped before it was a sure thing that the submission was locked in.
Yeah.
So I was quite hard on the guy about that.
Yeah.
But he was talking to Ariel Helwani, and apparently he's had strep throat 4 times in the last 5 months or something stupid like that. He had strep throat. It kind of, what's the opposite of remission where it comes back? Recurrence?
Yeah.
Yeah. Recurrence. Yep.
So apparently he was sick fight week, and he couldn't really breathe in the cage. He feels like he's breathing through a straw. So when he went into the head and arm choke, he wasn't breathing properly anyway. So he actually, it was actually more on him because of his sickness. But anyway, I suppose I feel guilty really for judging him so harshly.
Is this an apology?
When all he had to do was tell some lies about being sick.
No, not an apology. Okay.
I don't have any kind of fancy segue going from that back to the Grammys with Sean, but if I may. Sean, how did you feel like the Grammys went as a television spectacle? And I want to do a compare and contrast, if we may, to the BAFTAs, which were on Sunday, which is the British Oscars, basically. I don't know what BAFTA stands for. Steve, the
British
Academy of Film and Television Awards.
There we go. See? Ask a question. But my beef with the BAFTAs is that it aired here at 9 p.m. on Sunday night.
Okay.
Beef with the BAFTAs, is that a thing?
I know.
It's my new blog.
Is that something?
It airs at 9 p.m., but the awards begin at like 7. But like everybody from within the whatever studio or the place where they record it are tweeting the results.
Oh, Twitter's ruined it for you. Yeah.
And then the news, all the major news stations are broadcasting the results at the hourly news updates.
Yeah.
So before the BAFTAs have even aired to the audience to which it is, I don't know, entertaining.
Another reason to watch online.
I know but this is like the live version. It's not like, you know, the Oscars that in Ireland we would get a day later, heavily edited, and, you know, all the good stuff is gone. Like, the BAFTA, we are watching the television spectacle of the BAFTAs, but it's like an hour or two later. So that I know that they do that so that they can edit down some of the speeches and make sure that it's a 2-hour program. But what is the point of broadcasting an award show for entertainment purposes if in the hour before that, all the news stations and all the accounts on Twitter have told me who've won all the major awards? It pissed me off to no end. But then you have the other, you know, the live awards where maybe it goes on a little bit longer. And I saw a really awkward moment just as I was leaving the house where Ed Sheeran and this woman co-won the Song of the Year award for Thinking Out Loud, and he did his speech, and then she went to go give her speech, and then there was a really awkward like cut from the producers, kind of moved on to the live thing. And
That's so sexist.
It was super ox.
They did that in the Oscars when Glenn Hansard and
yeah, what's her name? It's too foreign for me to pronounce. It's not because she's a woman.
Arqueta Irglova.
Thank you.
Shona in shock sexism scandal.
You know what?
Tomorrow's headline.
I thought you were going to tell us that Ed Sheeran went up knowing that you'd already won because he was watching the tweets.
So, what did you think, Sean, of the Grammys as a television spectacle?
So, unfortunately, we come from completely diametrically opposed viewpoints on this, because remember I mentioned I wanted to skip all the speeches and award announcements.
Yes, and you like to watch the entertainment bits?
Yeah, so it's specifically tailored towards me because I can literally just Google Grammys performances or Grammys highlights and go and find those things, which is exactly how what I did. Like I went and I found the Alexander Hamilton musical did a live performance from their theater for the Grammys, which was just amazing. Like everyone I know has been talking about that musical the entire time, and I'll never get to see it because it's booked out until right about probably my grandson's death. So I don't know. I think that it's great when you're not that interested, but if you're really dying to see it, it is killer. Kind of like living in Ireland and wanting to watch Monday Night Raw without it getting spoiled.
Difficult.
It's tough. It's a difficult life.
You have to go into like media shutdown. Yeah.
That's why I don't talk to a lot of my friends.
But the thing is,
It's not the only reason why.
With Monday Night Raw, you can watch the news. It won't be on that.
That's good.
That's
But, like,
fair. It's usually not.
You know, in Ireland, growing up in Canada, I was used to watching the Oscars and the Grammys and stuff as they happened, you know, like the whole 4-hour broadcast or whatever. But in Ireland, we always get it a day later, and it's so heavily edited. All you see is the award. You miss all the entertaining bits, which annoys the hell out of me because there's no way to do that except for going to YouTube. So the BAFTAs, I was like, all right, here's an award show that I am actually living in the proper geographical zone to get the aired version on television. Yep. And then, fucking media ruined stuff for me still. And I'm really bitter.
You need to buy tickets next year and go.
Moving past my disappointment with my lot in life.
Maybe?
Did anyone see the BAFTAs? We had some pretty big awards. Is that part of the news later, or
no?
Did anyone watch it?
Newsworthy.
But the BAFTAs are huge, and they're often a fairly decent indicator.
And they're precursor. Yeah. So all I heard was Brooklyn and Saoirse. That's kind of all I heard about it.
I actually forget already. I think Brooklyn won Best
It did.
Film.
Best Picture,
And Leonardo
DiCaprio. They call it over here. Yeah.
Yes, the film. Leonardo DiCaprio, unsurprisingly, won Best Actor.
Was he there?
Yeah, he was there. He gave a speech. I think he's practicing his acceptance speech for the Oscars. Right. And it was funny because in his acceptance speech, everyone that he thanked was a man because he's such a man's man. He's like, Scorsese and this person helped me and blah, blah, blah. And I was about to give out to him to my husband and be like, listen to Leonardo DiCaprio. Clearly doesn't respect women. There's no one in his life that he thinks contributed to his contribution to film who's a woman. And then he saved the biggest thank you of all for his mom. And I was like, God damn.
Oh.
Tell me, did he do what he did in the Globes and thank Dumble Gleeson?
No, he didn't. I heard about that.
In the Globes.
There was Yeah, Sean.
Oh, I just have a list of the awards with my research that I did hours ago. If anyone would like for me to go a quick rundown. Please do.
Quickly, though, before we do, your man who directed The Revenant, I can't pronounce his name, but when he was giving his acceptance speech for The Revenant, or directorial or whatever it was, he complained that Donald Gleason's name was too hard for him to pronounce to thank him.
The irony.
The irony.
Unpronounceable of which.
That's it. Anyways, Sean, as you were.
So best direction was Alejandro González Iñárritu for The Revenant.
That's your man. Yeah.
And also the best film was The Revenant, as well as best actor in a leading role went to Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant. Rising Star Award went to John Boyega of Star Wars fame. I'm happy with that. Best British film.
Oh yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Brooklyn, yeah. Best British.
Best British film.
First film in the...
Yeah.
I was actually wondering while I watched that, what makes it British?
It was funded by British people.
Was it? Because it was Irish, Canadian is... No.
It was filmed in Ireland with an Irish main actor and so on and so forth.
Anyways.
Yeah, the Irish story.
Okay.
But it's funded by... And people are saying, Ireland are part of British Isles. And I said, no, well actually Britain's in a little island in the Irish Sea. How about that? So, works both ways.
I don't know,
and then
Steve. You're very precious about all that stuff. It's like,
I couldn't give a shite, really.
it's just, at the end of the day, independence was just a bit of a laugh. We didn't mean it, really.
The best actress in a supporting role went to Kate Winslet for Steve Jobs.
Well,
and the best actress in a leading role was Brie Larson from Room.
Oh, yeah.
And then the best foreign language film doesn't matter. The best sound.
No, come back. Who was it? Come on.
I'm just pulling your chain there. It went to Wild Tales.
Did it?
It did. I know, right? I mean, that's where the big money is. The betting for best foreign film.
Indeed, it's the best odds, actually, if you look at it.
And best adapted screenplay went to The Big Short.
Oh.
I can just jump in on that. I've been listening to The Week that I missed a few weeks ago on the podcast, and I got to finish listening to it this week, and I totally agree with your review, Mike, on The Big Short. It was good, but not worth all the Oscar buzz.
Why, thank you, Shona.
Yeah, you're welcome, Mike.
I'm delighted that you appreciate what I have to say sometimes.
Twice, that is it.
Twice, yeah. In 1
You
year
hit-
and a half.
you hit your quota for
Presents,
2016.
It's a lot easier to take.
Mike, tell us about Jesse Ventura conspiracy theory. Isn't this from 2009 or something?
Yeah, it was on from 2009 to 2012, but they're rerunning it on the History Channel.
Oh, okay.
And this was the first time I'd ever seen it.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
It's a rerun on the History Channel, isn't it?
So this is Jesse is going around looking at conspiracy theories or forming conspiracy theories?
Looking at existing ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he takes everything really seriously.
I remember this having a bit of scandal-ish about it. And,
Did it?
Bit problems, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't...
Especially about FEMA.
Oh, yeah, maybe. He did poke around in a lot of ants' nests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got in trouble over it,
Yeah.
and then they nearly didn't finish. And then I believe that there's one at the end of season 3 that they haven't actually aired.
Okay, the missing episode,
Yes.
yeah.
But how was it?
It's just such awful tosh. You just kind of have to love it. At one point, he's investigating, what is it? I think it's the Bilderbergs planning to poison the whole planet. And he gets some new information from, of all people, Alex Jones. I don't know if you watched the Alex Jones show.
Yeah.
But he's on his private plane and he gets this information from Alex Jones and he waves up to the pilot, "Turn her around. We gotta go take care of this." As if he's saving the fucking world,
Yeah. Do you know who Alex Jones is?
No.
Alex Jones is he's just the source of so many conspiracy theories, and he seems like he is absolutely bananas because he shouts all the time, right? To get his point across.
Is he more bananas than that Cora's brother who is...
Oh, yeah. No, it is completely different level. This guy's pro.
Yeah. He makes his living off being...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feeding information
and so
to the
people
Cora's
have
brother.
laughed at him a lot over the years, but he's actually... It's a lot of the stuff he said has turned out to be very close to the truth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Very, very close to the truth, if not the truth. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's an interesting character, all right. But he's like, Mr. Black Hawk helicopter in the night kind of
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed he hasn't been shot yet.
Oh, he's very entertaining. Though. Yeah, he's
I'm
got
sure
a great
the Men in
podcast,
Black
actually.
have...
I think Jesse's been on his podcast before, actually.
I'd well believe it.
Yeah. I think he was on Joe Rogan at one stage too. I must go back and look. But anyway, yeah. So is it worth a look?
If you like that kind of thing, I'm kind of easy to please when it comes to reality TV and that kind of stuff.
Is it real? Is it like crappy reality TV, or is
it's really, really American. He walks around from place to place still wearing his Navy SEALs t-shirt from 35 years ago or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's kind of playing the character, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
He has like a brand.
Yeah.
The Jesse Ventura.
I suppose if you're into Jesse,
yeah,
it's worth a look.
Yeah.
Dig it out of Netflix. I'm sure it's on there somewhere.
Yeah. Or just go watch Predator. Or was it Predator?
Yep.
Yeah, Predator. Yeah. I went back and watched more of Lucifer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you're a glutton for punishment, or...
Yeah, well, it made me laugh, the first episode, and I went back and watched episode 2, and then I followed up with episode 3. I find it entertaining in an elementary kind of way, in that it's not too taxing, but it's very easy to watch, and it gives me a laugh now and again. Yeah, yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Question. He is... it seems that he's immortal and all-powerful, how does that work? Why doesn't at the start of every episode he just go, right, I'm going to immediately solve every problem?
Oh, because, you know, he may be immortal, but he doesn't time travel.
No, like, what I mean is the limits to his powers don't make sense to me. Like, he can basically do whatever he wants, so he just kind of, like, is going to figure everything out. There's no worry. There's no danger.
Yeah, no, I think he's trying to keep his lowish profile and just be known as a nightclub owner. Mm-hmm. You know, okay. But he does like to. I think the way his mind works is that he's not looking. Well, he is looking to punish those who are bad, but he likes to make sure that those who haven't been bad aren't being punished, which is kind of a twist.
He's a nice Lucifer.
Yeah, he's a nice Lucifer, and he's a very funny Lucifer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's got a great sort of head on him for it. You know, he's perfectly cast for it. You know, yeah.
He seems to have a lot of moral fiber for the devil incarnate.
No, not really. That's shown.
Well, he
in
was
episode
an angel
3.
at one point.
You know,
he has past experience.
Yeah, but they've actually moved quite away from, you know, where he was having visits from his dad's soldier. Okay. You know, do you remember that? They've moved away from that kind of aspect to it for the last 2 episodes, which is good. It's great, actually. Yeah. And so he's sort of just being left to his own devices. Mm-hmm. Which is the bit that appeals to me. Yeah.
You know, just how competent is his police partner?
Oh, very. But she needs help now and again.
Just occasionally, yes.
Yeah.
But not in such a way that would, you know, threaten her competence.
But conveniently, yeah. And also conveniently, she's not convinced that he is Lucifer, but has seen many miracles that he has performed. And for some reason, she's immune to his.
That's right. She had the special anti-eye power thing. Yeah.
Convenience as well. But anyway, it makes it works. It works.
So The Walking Dead is back.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, it's been renewed. I've heard. Yeah.
It came out on Valentine's Day, appropriately. I've been waiting for it to come back for a long time. I'm a huge fan of The Walking Dead. There was something really weird about this episode. Has anyone else seen it? Am I the only one?
No.
Sean, did you notice anything weird about this episode?
When you say weird, I don't really know how to... Do you mean the way that they edited it together? Certain scenes?
No. It's really difficult to talk about this without spoiling.
We can do it. We've got 10 seasons of experience.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm just going to say that there is a certain trajectory that events take in The Walking Dead. And they don't conform to typical action shows a lot of the time. Sometimes they do, right? You know, where the good guys win and everyone's happy, right? But that's definitely not the way it went in this episode. It seemed very much like an episode of The A-Team to me.
Okay.
So the good guys won, but they weren't that happy?
Sure. Well, I think what you're saying is more traditionally, like, not saccharine, but more traditionally, like, this is the problem. Oh, it's a dangerous problem.
Why aren't you on Broadway, Sean? Why aren't you?
I was just thinking.
I asked myself the same question.
He's even got jazz hands going when he does that.
Yeah. So we go to The Walking Dead just so we can wallow with people who are deeper in misery and misfortune than we are.
Yeah.
And it just seemed a bit... No, I enjoyed it. It was a great episode. A lot happened, which The Walking Dead is often criticised for, where they have great big sections of time where nothing really happens. There's so much happening all the time. But just the same thing happened 3 times in a row, and I was kind of going, this is not Walking Dead, like. But anyway, that's my view. I still enjoyed it. It's a great show.
Is that irritating little shit of a child dead yet? The sheriff's son?
One quick thing about The Walking Dead over here in America. It made huge waves on the news. Okay, first thing, I went and I read some reviews and stuff because I was interested in the reaction that people seem to be having online. A lot of hubbub because they did something that they have a plot element happened that has happened before, but they've never shown on screen. And it was, I was watching it and I started making verbal noises. Like I started going, and I'm usually fine watching The Walking Dead or anything like that. I usually don't get surprised or shocked by anything that happens. But in this episode I did, and I went up to find it. to see was there any other reaction. And Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick Grimes in the show, says that episode, none of the episodes before have given him pause. But the final episode of this season made him lose sleep to the point where he was late for the first time ever to shooting one of the episodes. Like, literally, he went, I read the script and it made me really uncomfortable. Made me, like, I couldn't sleep that night, and, like, I had a shit day the next day. I did not like what I read.
Talking about?
Well, no, this wasn't even the most recent episode, which I thought was incredibly graphic. This is an episode yet to come, the finale of this season.
Oh, brilliant. Something to look forward to. Mike, it's time to get back in.
No, I don't want to say it, no.
Did you say something about some child dying? Or you
I just want, like, if I'm ever going to watch the show again, I just want to know if that little shithead child is gone.
No, it's good that you want to know that, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to watch more of it, so. Okay. I saw something called Stan Lee's Lucky Man this week.
Oh, yeah?
That's not shite.
From the mind of comic book legend Stan Lee comes James Nesbitt. Well, actually, it's not really James Nesbitt. He plays a different kind of superhero. Mm-hmm. This is a crime action thriller series about a brilliant but flawed cop. So James Nesbitt, who is brilliant but a very unlucky but flawed cop, gets lucky with a gorgeous lady who disappears by morning but has left him with an amulet/bracelet thing around his wrist. Suddenly he is Mr. Lucky, but of course it's not that straightforward. There's always someone else, of course, in the background somewhere after an amulet or some shit to distract you from his day job. You know, that kind of way. It's like, you know the way Limitless, right? You have the straightforward story, but there's always that other background story with some murky depths stuff going on. Yeah, so there's a bit of that. But anyway, so gorgeous girl turns up to warn him now and again about this, you know, and some action happens, and then he goes back to investigating things that turn out to be kind of related to the original turn of events. It's interesting. I'll give it that. James Nesbitt's very good in it, and I'm definitely going to watch another one. Yeah,
James Nesbitt usually is.
Yeah. I think he's pretty consistent. Now, I know Mike isn't a big fan of his.
No, I can't stand him.
Yeah, but
sorry, James.
No, he's pretty good in this, and it's a pretty solid show. I think you guys would like it. It's not, you know, he definitely is a superhero, sort of from the Daredevil camp-ish kind of area, you know, rather than look, I can really run really fast kind of camp. So yeah.
I feel like this is your genre, Steve. Like, I feel like when procedurals work, crime procedurals, when they work for you, you really enjoy them. Like, I feel like you've accrued a fairly long list of them at this point compared to other genres of stuff you watch.
You know what? Yeah, you could be onto something there. Yeah. So, yeah, certainly Lucifer, Elementary, and this, yeah.
Do you watch Limitless as well still?
I do, actually, yeah. There's another one. Yeah. Minority Report is cancelled. Did you hear that?
Good.
Yeah.
I mean,
good. No, yeah, I haven't been watching it either. Yeah. I also saw a movie this week called Moonwalkers. We reviewed the trailer.
The trailer, yeah.
This was about
Rupert Grint, Robbie Sheehan,
and Ron Perlman. And Ron Perlman is a damaged sort of ex-Vietnam Special Forces vet who's now in the CIA, and he's told, go make the moon landing with Stanley Kubrick. Yeah. But except he finds Rupert Grint by mistake and gives him the money to make the movie, and then discovers he's been swindled, and then he goes after him, and then the money's gone, and they have to try and convince someone else to do it.
And it becomes totes hilarious.
Totes hilarious. And it does, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Totes hilarious.
Yeah. Ron Perlman's brilliant. Rupert's actually really good at it too.
How did you find Robert Sheehan?
Almost unrecognisable, but then I sort of went, oh, that's Robert Sheehan.
Is he the same kind of character he tends to play, which is like cocky, arrogant, and hilarious?
No. You know what? You could see Johnny Depp doing this character.
Really?
Yeah, because he plays kind of a little bit oddball, completely stoned all the time, just trying, like he's just trying different drugs for the laugh. You know, and he's just like, oh no, he's meant to do stuff important, like go out and be this astronaut walking on the moon. And he's just like, oh man, I'm just coming up. It's just like, you know, whoa, it's like, what did you try? And he's just like, don't know, but I put some acid in with it. You know? So it's that kind of stuff, but it's very funny. But it ends up, you know, Ron Perlman sort of gets drugged as well, and that's very funny as well because he's such a serious dude. It's actually quite graphic in places as well.
Really?
Yeah. Graphic violence, let's say.
Okay.
That I wasn't expecting because I was sitting there to watch it. I thought, Grant, you know, this isn't a shooty type movie. It's maybe quite a funny kind of movie thing. And I was like, oh, all right, okay, well, so much for that theory. So yeah, there's bits of it that we don't see in the trailer.
Yeah, the
that's
trailer
a whole
doesn't hint at all about
other side to the story, you know. So
Interesting.
yeah, but it's very good. It's very good.
Worth a watch.
Yeah, I would give it a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7. Went on to watch episode 2 of Billions, which we reviewed a number of weeks ago.
I can't wait to watch Billions.
Paul Giamatti, Damian Lewis, David Constable, the U.S. Attorney, Chuck Rhodes goes after the hedge fund king, Bobby Axelrod. I don't think I want to watch more. It's not that it's not good. It's just not good enough.
See, Sean did such a good job of selling it that I am chomping at the bit to watch it.
Did you see this, Sean?
Well, I've been watching it, right?
Yeah,
But I had a wobble where I wasn't sure if I was going to keep going, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Someone described it as a soap opera in some review that I read.
Right.
And I kind of went, that's no. Wait. And I went and I watched the next episode, whatever one it was that week, with that in mind. And you know, I want it to be like The Social Network. I want it to be Steve Jobs. I want it to be Margin Call. I want it to be, you know, The Big Short. But it only does that some of the time. Like, I actually think it might be a soap. Like, genuinely.
Aww.
So I'm going back and forth every episode. Like, there was one episode I watched where I was kind of like, shit, that was all really just so that there would be emotional, like, issues between characters. When what I really want is for there to be a game of, like, intellectual cat and mouse. Like, literally, one guy going after another guy.
Yeah.
And them being really good at their jobs, trying to just take each other down.
Yeah.
You know, emotionally, psychologically, as well as actually.
Like a good episode of Suits. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. So, I don't know. Like, I'm going to keep watching it. Episode 5, I believe, is the one that I'm up to now. So I'm going to keep reporting back. But sometimes I really like it, and sometimes I'm just kind of like, geez, this is exactly the kind of thing that would make somebody who's just starting out in acting figure out how to do all of the emotions on their way to the really serious films they make when they're older.
So unless you come back to me and tell me that it's absolutely fantastic, I think I'm going to leave it.
You're bowing out, huh?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's just not strong enough. It's not that it's bad. It's just, you know.
There's so much good TV.
Yeah.
Why waste your time with bad TV?
So speaking of which,
what a segue.
American Crime Story. This is O.J. Simpson, or The People versus O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
This is star-studded as well. And this is only episode 1. John
Surprisingly,
Travolta.
I thought it was going to be like documentary style, but it's not as acted. You were saying that there's a lot of actors, a lot of big names.
John Travolta, Cuba Gooding Jr., and David Schwimmer in this episode.
When I was watching the BAFTAs on Sunday, I was like, why the hell is Cuba Gooding Jr. presenting stuff? Like, isn't he 10 years out of date? But now it makes sense to me.
So this whole series is an anthology series centered around some of history's most famous American criminals, I should say. It's a huge cast. And this one,
sorry, because I saw that there was 10 episodes, and it was like The People versus O.J. Simpson, and I thought they were just making 10 episodes of the O.J. Simpson case.
Possibly. But their season 2 is lined up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think I saw Kate Winslet's name in there somewhere as well. So, yeah.
Speaking of crime drama.
But, anyway, definitely worth a watch. It's brilliant.
Speaking of crime
drama. Okay.
Especially if you don't know the O.J. Simpson case. Yeah.
Which obviously I wouldn't, given that it was current affairs.
Yeah, exactly. You could watch it like a...
No spoilers now.
No, like a... I don't know, just like a little drama.
Don't spoil history.
Little crime drama.
Speaking of crime drama.
Go, Mark.
Better Call Saul is back.
Is it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Since when? How did I
Last night.
Oh, last night. Okay. Awesome. Brilliant.
Well, at the time of recording last night, it'll be 4 days ago for people listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts off again with a black and white bit set post Breaking Bad. That's meant to underline the misfortune and the misery that he lives in now. And then it goes back to more of the good stuff. It's featuring a lot of Mike, which I enjoy. He's a great character. And it seems to be set to top the expectations from last season.
Fantastic. I'm delighted to hear that. This is best news all week.
I never even got through the first season, I have to confess. Yeah.
Wasn't for you. I don't think Mike liked
No,
it either.
no.
Did he?
Do you know?
No, I thought it was shite.
I liked what I was
I
watching.
thought the same of you, Mike. Sorry, Shona. Please continue.
No, I was just gonna say I liked what I saw, but I just never got around to it. It might have been more a temporal issue that it was around the time I was pregnant and just too tired to watch too much TV. I don't know. I can't remember, but I liked what I saw. I just never got around to finishing it.
By the way, if you get a chance, get onto YouTube and check out Vice's episode called The Real Saul Goodman. It's a guy called Howard Greenberg, based in New York, and he's just a fast-talking, pushes the boundaries type lawyer, always supporting the guy who's going to get absolutely shafted by the system. It's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's been going for 25 years. He's the most eccentric-looking character. Right. Yeah, no, he's just hilarious, and it's really worth a look. It's not that long. It's only 15 or 20 minutes, but if you enjoyed the show, you'll definitely see not only the similarities, but you get the same kind of laughs out of him, you know. So, yep. So, with that, we'll go to the news. Remember that old Oscars issue, problem? God, they're so white.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have the All Deaf Movie Awards, which are going to be 4 days before the Oscars. The All Deaf Movie Awards will feature a black carpet for celebrity for arrival, live special music performance, and constant streaming of all social media activity on every All Deaf digital channel throughout the show. Categories for the show include traditional ones such as Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, and so on. And they also have Best Helpful White Person and Best Black Survivor in a movie. And you can go and vote for these on their website.
So all deaf doesn't mean like hard of hearing deaf.
No, DEF.
Like Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah, Def Comedy Jam, which is usually predominantly black.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Best Picture nominees are Beast of No Nation, Chirac, Concussion, Creed, Dope, and Straight Outta Compton.
Dope's a great movie.
So is Creed. So is Straight Outta Compton. Yeah. So this is to promote more diversity in voting and so on.
Great.
But I'm not seeing any Asian, Latino, Hispanic,
There's
or
no diversity.
Native Americans
in these alternate
included
awards.
in this. Yeah.
Is it on BET though?
No, I don't.
What
think so.
channel is it airing on? Is it just going to be like an online thing?
I think it's just online. Yeah, on their digital
Okay.
channels. Yeah. So anyway, that's worth a look anyway.
Interesting.
It'll certainly spark some conversation. Star Wars producers charged in the UK over the Harrison Ford accident. The Health and Safety Executive said Thursday it charged Disney subsidiary Foodles Production UK Limited with 4 violations of workplace health and safety laws. Yeah, so poor old Ford broke his leg last June 2014 after he was hit by a hydraulic door while filming a scene with the Millennium Falcon in Pinewood Studios. Yeah, so it's only they kind of suspended stuff for 2 weeks until I don't know, he got the cast taken off or something. I don't know, they hit it or built something. So anyway, they're bringing them to court. So it's
They're taking Harrison to court, or he's taking them?
No, the government is taking the production company.
Oh.
Yeah, because of health and safety rules, you know. What were you doing with a hydraulic door closing of Harrison Ford's leg?
Making it look like the future. That's what they were doing.
Do they have specific regulations for spaceships? Or
no, I think they view it as a workplace, not unlike a factory.
Mm-hmm.
So all the same procedures have to be in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a magic factory. That's what it is.
Goddamn liberal.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
So if there's something heavy, let the Wookiee lift it.
Bend your knees. Okay, Constellation Watch. Blood and Oil. Gone.
Really?
Yeah. Class.
Under the Dome.
Finally. Why wasn't it even a season 2 or a season 3? That should have been gone after the pilot.
Minority Report. Gone. Weird Loners is gone. And Extant.
Oh, good. That Halle Berry terrible.
Yes.
I mean, that was still going. Renewed. Master of None.
Cool.
Great.
Zoo.
Yay!
Wow.
You made my day, Steve.
Ballers. Silicon Valley.
Nice.
The Man in the High Castle, Better Call Saul, as we heard, Transparent, Homeland, Fargo, Ash vs. Evil Dead, which I thought was quite surprising.
Oh, yeah.
They ordered
So
that
Better
a while
Call
back.
Saul is renewed for season 3 now.
Yeah, I presume so.
That's what you've read means. That's gas. It only just dropped. Like,
What else? Longmire,
Oh, yeah?
Narcos.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Nice.
what? Narcos is still going.
No, it's been
Shut up.
renewed, dude. It's been renewed. It came out all on one day, remember? Daredevil,
That show's still going.
Oh, yay.
Jessica Jones,
Woohoo.
Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt.
Yay.
Does it say which season of Daredevil, Steve?
No. Is 2 out already? I thought it was only
It's
one.
not
Oh.
out, but I'm hoping that they're filming it already. I don't want to wait too
Oh,
long.
a new trailer for that dropped yesterday.
Really? For
Yeah.
Daredevil?
Great trailer.
I'll have to watch it.
It's going to be two-parter as well. There's going to be a second part of that trailer debuting on February 25th before Daredevil itself drops its second season on the same day that Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice comes out.
Wait, when does that happen, Sean?
It's like March 13th, 17th.
Oh my god, so we have like a month to go until the new Daredevil?
So they had a teaser.
honest.
They had a teaser on Sunday for the trailer on the Monday. That's the world we live in now.
And the last one I have here is House of Cards. Been renewed.
Great.
I thought you'd like that.
Yeah.
Aren't you a big fan?
That's the one with
I
all the
love
sex,
House of
right?
Cards. Is there sex?
Oh,
I guess
no, more
there's
politics
angry
than-
sex.
Okay, but yeah,
Angry
there's
sex.
a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of sex.
There's also Orange is the New Black was
Oh, that's
renewed
renewed
for
too.
seasons like 3, 4, 5, and 6 or something.
Yeah, I didn't know
3
we
just
fans of
dropped.
that.
I'm not. I watched like the first season and I kind of find it samey now, but
That's why I didn't mention it, actually.
it was renewed for like
And also, I was going to say The Walking Dead and the spin-off one. Yeah, that's been renewed. Whatever that's called.
Oh, good.
The Night
Fear
of the
of the
Walking
Good.
Dead.
Fear the Walking
In
Dead.
the
Glad
afternoon.
that got to come back.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Okay. So the first movie we watched is Mustang, which is I'm surprised you didn't see this, Sean. It's a great feminist movie, actually.
I would have watched it except for the fact that I just couldn't get time away from my needy baby this week. So.
Okay. Excuses.
If,
yeah.
if
Blame
you
the
sell
children.
if you sell
Yeah.
it to me, I will watch it this
Okay,
week.
let's sell it to her.
I'll bump it over billions.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 sisters who are being brought up by their grandmother and tyrannical old school uncle as their parents died 10 years previously, right?
Let's just clarify that, Steve.
Yeah.
How many female characters are there?
There's 6...
Like
in the
11 to
movie.
9.
Yeah. So they're like a tribe of sisters, right? And they're full of giggles and affection and long hair and flying and they're gorgeous.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's the last day of school. They hit the beach and they walk home from school and go frolicking in the water with some male school buddies. And so it ends up being, a game of chicken fight. People on shoulders sort of trying to push each other off and so on.
I didn't know that was called chicken fight.
Yeah,
That's good to know. I thought that was just called like the sexy pool game.
So girls on shoulders, guys as donkeys. That
Yeah,
Fight
everyone
thing, yeah,
knows
yeah.
that game.
Yeah. So what else did they do? Oh yeah, when they get home, they're individually beaten as an elderly neighbour saw them in the water and reported to the village that they were masturbating on the boys' necks.
Jesus.
Yep. So grandmother and uncle lock up the house and remove anything from inside the house that could corrupt them, like the TV, telephone,
Anything they could
magazines,
masturbate
radio,
with.
blah, blah. Pretty much everything. And dress them in frumpy sort of sackcloth type dresses,
Okay.
So village elders are then brought in, to homeschool them in such vital skills as making tea, cooking, and duvet making.
When is this set in?
It could be last week. It could have been 20 years ago.
Well, how were they dressed?
How do you mean? Before or after
Well,
the
how
event?
was the costume? So like,
Oh,
does it give us an era? It's fairly modern.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
jeans
it's
and
modern,
stuff.
modern.
Okay.
Yeah. And
We're
then,
not
and then they
talking
dress
like
them as Mormons.
1600s or anything.
No.
Oh,
could-
no.
At most 20 years ago, kind of thing.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
All
They're
right.
going to school wearing uniforms and stuff.
All right.
so,
Tea
yeah.
making. What else?
Duvet making. Oh yeah. So word gets out that they're now, fabulously, set for marriage, and a string of suitor parents come to the door looking for wives. So what happens next when they're matched up? You'll never guess.
They get a Mustang.
No, you'll never guess. And when stuff does happen, the good thing about this is not they don't milk it. They just go, "Yep, that happened. This is the thing. Move on. Story continues."
What?
Yeah.
Somebody gets murdered, don't they?
No.
One of them murders a husband, right?
No. That's what's brilliant. That's what you'd expect.
One of them becomes famous because her single is Mustang Sally.
No. Mustang refers...
Something interesting happens.
The name Mustang, I think, is to convey an image of wild horses with long manes.
They get a horse.
Plains and
Do the suitors bring them a horse?
They are the horses.
Do they get a
they
pony?
are the horses. That's the thing. So anyway, so the 5 girls, and they're all gorgeous, and they're all locked in this compound, and they have to. It's funny just to see how they dealt with it and how they're trying to escape.
I'm confused what this movie is about. So they're locked in a compound, they get suitors, and then they move on and live happily ever after?
No, it's the whole process is what the movie's about.
Yeah.
And other
the
stuff
process
that
of them
happens.
getting suitors.
Well, the process from the day that they're
Right.
at the beach,
Right.
and the effect of that day on the rest of their life.
Okay.
So, Mike,
Did you mention this is set in Turkey?
I may not have.
Is it English?
Maybe I should have.
That
actually.
might
English language?
make it easier.
You're
to
right,
understand.
because I should have mentioned that it's in Turkey and that a very, very traditional area of Turkey. It's northern Turkey, actually, on the coast.
Yeah.
The Black Sea, is that right?
I
Yeah,
think
Black
so,
Sea.
yeah.
It would be
Yeah.
the Black Sea.
So yeah, I suppose they're looking at the conflict which has been going on in Turkey since the foundation of the state between secularism and traditional Islamic values.
Okay.
And that's why the what will the neighbours think sort of aspect is so important to it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of imagery about prisons. As the girls misbehave, the uncle who's helping to raise them starts putting bars and stuff on the windows and building high walls and gates and stuff. And as the movie goes on, it becomes like a prison, doesn't it?
Yeah, they keep escaping and going
Yeah.
off and, arsing about with boys. So, so they make the house more and more secure.
Yeah. And as the girls are married off, it even becomes more secure. So by the time you're down to the last couple of girls, it's almost like fucking Fort Knox.
It's true. What do you think of this?
I'm not really sure what I made of this.
Yeah.
It's not a very nice movie.
This sounds really hard to watch.
It's
slow.
I may have made
I mean,
it sound,
hard to watch as in it's really difficult subject matter, not as in it's a really bad movie.
It
And
is.
you have to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very
it subtitled?
difficult
No.
subject matter. Like what happens to the girls is not very nice generally.
Yeah.
Like they're orphans to start with,
Yeah.
and things go downhill from there.
Yeah. It
But they
sounds-
seem to keep an air of good humor about them as well, and it's more of I don't know, it's a devilishness in them,
Yeah.
because you do see that they're quite giggly and they're, they chill out. They do shoot shots, where they're quite happy, where they're just like all of them lying in a heap of hair and legs on the floor, just chilling out and messing, that kind of thing. So they are kids, and you see that they had a reasonably good childhood and no reason to think otherwise. But it's when they come of age is that they are accused of, masturbating on the boys' necks. That's when the old traditional values come in. They just go, okay, they're of age. We need to lock these up, or else we'll have
We
dogs
sort
and
this
heat.
shit out.
Yeah, dogs and heat around the grounds of the house. That kind of thing. So
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think I could watch this.
You might have problems with this because it's. There's a number of things that happen to the girls that aren't very nice either.
Yeah. It sounds like that kind of film.
And they do. Well, on the plus side, they do talk to each other occasionally about things that aren't men.
Okay. Well, there you go. Back to test.
definitely passes the Bechdel test for sure.
Yeah. I did find it slow. They had a problem with the pacing, I thought.
Okay.
What's in the story is interesting, but it's just not snappy enough.
Okay.
And I liked all the characters. I thought, particularly the young girls.
Yeah.
You were saying they're not actual actresses?
No,
just-
they're unknowns that they just sort of picked and went, yeah, you're brilliant. Yeah, I like your
you'll be
face
great.
and I like your
Yeah.
look and so on. And they I think that kind of added to it too.
Mm-hmm.
They
didn't. What's the word? They didn't annoy you. I have very little tolerance for children.
Yeah.
That's right. They were pretty authentic, weren't they?
Yeah. It was a little bit Walton-y at the beginning. I found it hard to imagine that 5 siblings could get on that well. But then as things go on, and
That's just based on your own experiences, though, Mike, isn't it?
that's right, Steve. But as things go on, you can see the nastiness kicking in, and that kind of gets your attention. Some of the nastiness is a little bit subtle. If you weren't watching carefully, you might miss major plot points.
Just made me mad about religion again. Because that's where it was all stemming from, and it just it's just the archaic outlook on life and the values, and
down with that sort of thing.
Down with that, and what will the neighbours think? And oh God, sure, it was all about the neighbours understanding.
Well, that's not a religious thing, though.
Oh, but that's you're meant to follow the religious values. That's what I mean. And if you're not towing the line, you'll be outcast by the village. That kind of way.
Yeah.
So,
but they have Istanbul as almost like an escaping fairyland.
Right.
They come back because it's obviously a fairly secular city. It's almost like a dream world for them. If we only get out of here to Istanbul, everything will be okay. But of course, as they're dreaming, the walls are getting higher and higher around their house.
Yeah, they're being married off one by one, slowly and surely.
Yeah.
To horrible men, I presume.
Not always. Some of them are okay. Some of them not so okay.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that they varied it. It isn't that they said, okay, the first one is a terrible husband and the next one is worse and the next one is worse.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a lucky bag.
It's quite natural, sort of. Yeah.
It didn't seem too kind of, what's the word, faked.
Yeah. We need a good guy, we need a bad guy, we need a joker, and we need...
I've been working on this script all weekend, goddammit.
Yeah, it was quite organic, even. Yeah.
That's a nice word. Yeah.
So basically, you're kind of rooting for these girls while various things happen to them.
Yeah, you are, and it's funny. It's blindsided me several times.
Just a quick question from the Peanut Gallery. Who should watch this movie? Like, who would be interested in this movie? What is it answering? What is it providing? Like, who should go and see it? Who should track it down?
That's a question I was struggling to answer while I was watching it. Because I was thinking, okay, I'm watching it because I have to. But would Shona watch it? Maybe not. Because she cries a lot.
Yep.
Mark definitely wouldn't watch it. I suppose...
Is it art house? Would you describe it as art house?
It's not super arty.
No, it's not really, is it?
But definitely you'd want to probably have an arty inclination just to allow the possibility of watching a movie that's not in English.
Yeah.
Maybe it could inform people about life in a different place. Is that?
Yeah,
for sure.
Do.
For sure, yeah. I was kind of thinking when you asked that question, when it's shown in Turkey, maybe it's educational for those outside of Turkey, but for those in Turkey, who'd go and watch this? I don't know. Is there someone that would watch the John Wayne movie in Connemara?
No,
about the courting.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be more
the old traditional values there.
I'd say it'd do very well in Turkey with young people who are seeing themselves in a similar situation.
Yeah.
Parents are trying to make them do one thing and they sure as fuck don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But beyond those shores, I'd say it's more of a cultural interest kind of audience.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. Yeah. Same with Thebe, actually. You know what? If you're inclined to watch, this and Thebe, it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I think it was very well made. I didn't find any problem with the pacing. I know it was slow in places, but I think it was, the pacing had merit to it in that it created an atmosphere and it created, it gave you a break to have a think about what just happened. That kind of way.
That's what you need in films, yeah.
Well,
long, dull periods to think.
You do when it's powerful. When it's powerful enough and it's, it's not being flippant about a subject. You do need time to absorb.
So I'm flippant now, Steve. That's what you're saying.
Totally, yeah.
I would probably disagree, but I probably need to see the film to see if you do need a break. I guess.
Yeah, I this is definitely in the 7 territory for me. Yeah.
Oh, we're marking.
Yeah, I think it's definitely in the 7 territory for me.
I'd probably go to 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like it. I thought it was well acted and well filmed. Go, Sean.
Well, no, I just wanted to make sure I got in a fun piece of trivia before we finished.
Do it.
So when you're ready with the ball, Mike, you pass it over.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was well filmed, well acted. Interesting story, but the pacing kind of killed it for me. And I mean, Sean hit the nail on the head. What is the audience for it?
Yeah.
And outside Turkey, I don't know. Would it travel that well?
Okay, we shall see in the Oscars.
Yes, indeed.
I don't even need to see the movie to hit the nail on the head.
It's ridiculous. You're that good, Sean. You're that good.
So I was reading up about the movie, and I saw an interesting piece of trivia, which is why I asked the question about why was the movie made. So the 2 women who made this film met at Cannes at a first-time filmmakers event.
Oh, right.
And one of them, or maybe both of them, were told that instead of trying to make the films that they were currently trying to make, they should do something more manageable and scaled back, maybe something more centered around characters that they could actually film, so they could know what it's like to make a movie and then expand out into bigger projects. Because I think sometimes people make films because they want to make them, and they manage to find a way to do it.
Nice.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so 6 and a 7.
Yep.
There we go.
All right. We've seen worse. Is that a good thing?
Sounds like you've seen a lot worse scores like that.
Okay, so next up we have first of our TV. Hang on a second.
Making a Murderer.
Which is Making a Murderer. Mark, tell us about it.
So this is the story of Stephen Avery. It's a documentary about a man who was sent to prison for a sexual assault that he was later acquitted for when DNA criminal science allowed the charges to be disproven. And right after that happens, he finds himself on trial for murder. This is the story.
Very good.
So we're kind of late to the party on the podcast about this because everybody else I know anyway has already been talking about this. It seems to have captured the interest of this nation, at least.
It seems to be the latest binge watch spectacular.
Yeah, everyone seems to be talking about it. Have you watched this, Shona?
I have, yeah.
What do you think?
I haven't seen the whole thing now. I've seen the pilot because I'm sick of my Twitter feed filling up with people saying I actually got a phone call from my sister-in-law saying, "Have you seen Making a Murderer? You have to watch it. It's so good." And I've heard similar things from radio DJs and people on Twitter. So I saw the pilot. It seems to be, I think ever since the Serial podcast with the story of Adnan Syed, that it has started a real trend now of popularizing analyses of real life crime trials. And that was the first thing that struck me, because I enjoyed Serial. I didn't watch it kind of in real time as everybody else did, but when I got around to listening to Serial, I thought it was fine. So Making a Murderer, it just seems more of that type of genre, and I can't say I was blown away by it. I think the pacing of the episode, they tried to do it in a way that really hooked you at the end, but I think that it was problematic because by the time I got to the end of the episode, I was like, no, I don't really care. I don't know. Like, I mean, there are court cases every day. There are things that happen to people every day, and I'm sure some are more drama-filled than others, but that doesn't mean I want to watch them all and learn about every case history that's ever happened in criminal law. So, yeah, I don't know.
I think I'm kind of with you, and you know what? I think I was built up too much for this. Because everyone say, you gotta watch this. This is just awesome. It's brilliant. Making a Murderer. I say, okay, we'll watch episode 1. Episode 1, I was just like,
Yeah,
so dude, was in there, and so dudes didn't like him. Yeah, so
then he was freed.
I've seen that.
I mean, it's ridiculous when you look at the evidence that they used to put him in jail, and then he got free.
Yeah, so did a grudge. Like, it never happened before. Yeah, like I could name half a dozen Irish people that's had that issue in the UK. You know, but it's I have a feeling that once I get to episode 2, that things may change, and then there might be the hook in there. Now, I haven't seen episode 2 yet, but I have a feeling that's where it lies.
Yeah. No,
But it's definitely not in episode 1.
it really isn't. And I think even the manner in which they were telling the story, like, I found it hard to follow. You know, by the end of the episode, I was just like, who is this person now? Like, there's not really a great continuity of storytelling of that episode, so that it's hard to kind of get into. I think the pacing's a bit off. I feel like it's kind of jumping on a bandwagon of things that have been popularized by Serial, and even like this, you know, People versus O.J. Simpson. This seems to be the next wave of entertainment, you know, real life crime.
This might be
reanalyses.
next year's most worrying trend.
Yeah.
Maybe, Mark. That's a good one. But Mark, I want to know what you think.
I don't know what is wrong with you people. So I don't often have time to watch more than one episode of TV shows that we tend to review. But as it turned out, I gave myself a bug on Sunday, and I was quite sick, and decided to throw this on because I knew it was coming up for the podcast at some stage. And you know that thing that Netflix does where it says next episode in 30 seconds? Mm-hmm. I'm on episode 6 now of this, and I'm probably going to finish it. I think the difference between me and the hooks that it put into me that it didn't put into you guys is that I cared about Stephen Avery. I like, he's so obviously an idiot who's barely able to function as a human, let alone fend for himself. That I just felt sorry for him. I guess that the system was.
Well, Mark, that might be because you think of yourself as some kind of watchful protector. You know, a silent guardian.
Or he can identify with them. Could be that either.
Maybe I'm the idiot, Sean. I think that's what Steve's getting at. But either way, I felt sorry for him. And at the end of that first episode where they dropped the whole why it's called Making a Murderer, I just went, no way. This is the longest 30 seconds to get to episode 2 ever.
Really?
Also, I've talked a lot about documentaries in the past about telling a story. And I think this is the most skillful telling of a story in a documentary I've ever seen, because it's almost identical to a TV show. Each episode has a story and character arcs, and it finishes in a cliffhanger. Like, that's brilliant. To be able to do that with footage that you didn't create. So when I got 6 episodes deep, and last night I was talking to people that watch a lot of TV like I do, and I said, right, no spoilers, right? But is this real? Is it a real person and a real crime? Or is it just made for TV and the joke is on us? And they were saying, no, it's real. Yeah, he's a real guy. Yeah, it's a real thing. Like, because I was starting to doubt it, because I was going, man, if I was filming this, I would want what happened in episode 6 to happen so that I could just kick off the season in really, dramatic fashion. And then it's just like, did they just get lucky? Like, I don't know. But,
it sounds like nobody got lucky, given this subject matter. It sounds like a lot of unluckiness.
The documentarians definitely were lucky.
Yeah, well,
That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So because they're trying to put together something that's interesting, and just the raw materials they're being given. Like other saps in studios have to have ideas. These guys, it's happening in front of their eyes, and they're just pointing things at it. Cameras, Sean. Cameras. So look, I loved it. I'm hooked. I'm going to watch this right the way to the end. Like most people, and this is where I differ
you
from
are the
rest of
majority,
you.
definitely.
My IQ is obviously closer to the Great Unwashed and Stephen Avery of this world. So I'm obviously just out there with more than the rest of you. Mike, did you watch this?
I did.
What did you think?
I was bored out of my fucking brain.
I thought you were going to say that.
Did you ever read True Detective magazine?
I did,
Remember
actually.
that?
Yeah,
See, we've probably seen this before.
Yeah. I just kept thinking back to the Jinx. And
But sure, that illustrates my point. The Jinx was the opposite of this. The Jinx took a documentary look at a court case and made it even more boring than if you sat there from start to end.
Well, no, there we'd have to differ, because I thought, excuse me, your man, was it Hurst was his name in the Jinx? Or Durst?
Durst.
He was interesting. I wanted to find out about him. Stephen Avery, I just couldn't care less. He was just like a non-person. And then, when it came to the little detail that when he was prior to his trouble with the law, he had been done for burning a cat alive. I was just like, well, you know what? Fuck you. I'm glad you spent 18 years in jail. You
The other kids made him do that. So he's easily led, Mike.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, we're going explicit this week, Mike Harvey.
Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Don't forget, Mike, in non-Irish countries, that word is much stronger.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, dear
It still
listeners.
makes me blush.
He did mean it with a K.
In our affectionate Irish way of using it. But no, it didn't hold a candle to the Jinx for me.
Yeah.
Oh my, what is wrong with you people?
No, I agree.
It was
I agree.
dull.
I
No,
think
you
the Jinx
don't.
was much
That's why I'm
stronger.
asking.
You know, they got these horrible 70s, what do they call those 8-track fucking millimeter thingy films?
8mm, Mike.
Yeah. Thanks. Steve always bails me out in that tech stuff. And, you know, it just looked bad. The people were ugly.
Because real people.
Yeah.
So, okay, now you're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
You
There,
know.
in fairness, yeah. You had problems with it. You didn't like it.
I had problems with Stephen Avery as the figurehead, and I had problems with, like, there was no Sheriff Beauperty Justice on the other
Well,
side.
he's not,
you know,
though.
a
He's
hanging
the victim.
judge.
Yeah.
Avery's the victim, and the heroes of this are not Stephen Avery. They're the lawyers around him and his team.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really know them after. Did you watch more than an
Are you
episode?
spoiling this?
Oh God, I was struggling just to make the end of one episode, man. There was no way I was signing up
The
for
deal
another.
is only the pilot, Mark. That's all we had to sign up for.
No, and that's fine. And you're
Yeah.
perfectly within your rights to review it at that. It's just he's not really the hero of the piece. Like he's the, you know, if it was a sentence, he'd be the object.
Alright.
Grammatical references to illustrate cinematic points. Mark, I'm so proud of you.
That was really well done.
We need to let Sean in here because everyone's just ganging up and making a murderer, and it's a very well loved show. But I think what would be better is if I kept talking about it. But like, and I wonder, like, because it really has captured the imagination of people, and like a lot of it is because I hear when my mother watches the news, she watches it with a steady stream of, "Oh, isn't it terrible?"
Yeah.
Would you believe that? And things like that. And I wonder if
Sure,
it's the
same
same
thing
kind of
happened in
idea.
Tullamore
Because
last week.
because there's a lot of that in Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
There's you just can't understand the great injustice.
Yeah.
But assuming it is the great injustice, because every so often I would find myself going, right, so hold on now, right, I'm the judge and I'm used to people spinning yarns to me every day. So the judge hears your man go, police corruption, he goes, sure it is. That's what they all say, son. So then I said, no, listen to what's been said from that point of view. And then you can go, actually, that judge is doing what I'd do. So it was interesting for that too. So that's how bought in and immersed in what was going on that I was.
No.
Is I was trying to turn it around and see it from other characters' points of view.
See, it's funny that you say characters when they're people.
But it's not though, because it's exactly like a TV show.
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
talked
no, I
about
get that.
character
Yeah,
development
yeah.
and story arc. Like it's all there.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no way if this was a documentary filmed like a documentary that I would be interested beyond 20 minutes or however length I was forced to watch by the podcast. But this is a documentary disguised very much like a real TV show.
But I think that's the trend I was saying, that there is now, we're making entertainment out of real life crime cases just because the hook is that this is real, this really happened, but then you tell the story in a way, and I think it's very similar to the Jinx, even though you would disagree with me, where the Jinx, you're approaching the story of Durst's alleged murders, I guess we have to call them, and you've got a cinematic director who's making that show, and from the opening, which was very kind of like True Detective-ish, and artsy, to every episode, I think having a story arc and a hook at the end. I think the Serial podcast also did that. I'd say they did it first, where they kind of focus on a different element of the case, and you're kind of left on a hook so that you listen to the next podcast. So I'd say it's the real trend of taking storytelling to real life events.
Yeah, and finally they got it right in Making a Murderer. Like they had a go at it in the Jinx and made a complete balls of it. It was a pretend TV show created from a documentary, but what it actually was a more boring documentary.
All right,
I can't actually manage that word tonight. Documentary. It feels like it's missing a syllable or something. Documentatory. But I think they did. Like, you know, I thought it was really just riveting TV, and I struggled to go away from it.
Well, I think if this is your kind of thing, if you really like crime drama, like my sister-in-law loves crime drama, she'd watch like the fictional ones on television. So I'm not surprised that this is right up her alley, and I think this is a lot of people's thing. And if you really like your crime drama, then I'd agree with you. I think this is something I would say to somebody to watch if the content sounds interesting to them, because it is told well. It's kind of trying to bring you along. I think that there was issues with the pacing, but if that hook, if you're inclined to sit down and binge watch the story about how this person gets from, you know, one point to another point by sheer, I don't know, bad luck is probably the wrong term, but you know, the it's incredible.
Incredulousness.
Mark, you're not being able to say stuff is now contagious.
Incredulosity.
All of that stuff. At you know, how this guy gets charged for murder, then, you know, I would tell people it's worth a watch. It's just that my own taste, I kind of didn't feel very.
It's not highbrow enough for you.
It didn't feel fresh. No, it's not. I don't have highbrow
You need
taste.
to jump in here.
No, I watch a lot of bad reality television, so I want to just clarify.
Just that
My taste is not highbrow.
there's no hook in it for me.
Yeah, by the time they got to the hook, it was like literally the last second of the episode. It's like, well, I saw, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
too
know. If
pissed
you
off
don't
at this
have
stage.
sympathy for other
you know.
humans, you're not going to like this.
Yeah.
But if you can, you know, reach out as a human to another person, feel their suffering, and maybe share in that and want them to pull through, this might be the show for you. So basically, if you've got real feelings, making a murderer might be the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Or if you don't have Google, just find out what happened. In summary. I'm sure there's a wiki page.
I'm pretty sure all
Then
the
you don't
people
have to sit
watching
through
this
all that
do
shit.
have Google,
Can't trust
Steve.
Wiki, Steve.
Anywho, thriller feller.
Thriller for me, and probably not for the rest of you fuckers.
Correct.
But what about Shona? She was hedging a bit.
No, I think. Well,
What do
you
you
can
watch
tell
for?
me if this will make it a filler or a thriller for me. I would say filler, except for the fact that, like, if there's a day I'm sick, Mark, like you were saying, and you kind of just want to put something on television, and you're sick of watching Judge Judy reruns on TV, because I've probably seen every episode of Judge Judy that was ever made, then I could see myself putting it on one day and being like, yeah, I'll watch the rest of this. But as it was, like, this episode that we were watching, because it's on Netflix, I got like 10 minutes into it, and I just turned it off and put on The Wolf of Wall Street. So, you know, I may turn back to it, but it would depend on how desperate I am and what the Netflix choices are that week.
I'm trying to empathize actually with Mark. I'm just thinking he was sick. Maybe had a temperature or fever. He was delirious. That's why he enjoyed it.
Still watching it. Doesn't
Makes
hold.
sense.
Nice,
Still watching
nice, Mark. Yeah.
The only reason I haven't finished the season is because in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, players have figured out how to use the jumps to dodge shots now. And I have to, it's really bothering me. So when you come around the corner and you see a guy, if it's one of the guys that has figured this out, they immediately boost jump up. So you're now shooting where they were. And they knew they were going to jump, whereas you didn't. So they're shooting down at where you are. So it's like, so what you have to do is you come around the corner, you either start to shoot or boost jump. And if you get it right, you're good. If you get it wrong, you're dead. So it's really interesting at the minute. And this has only just started. People have been messing with running along walls and all that for the last like few months since the game came out. But it's now, I think we're into the boost jump era. There was a guy, I was playing against a guy today. Oh my good Jesus. He frustrated me so much because he actually had another level to his game. He would single boost jump and start shooting. And if you jumped, he would boost again.
The whole
So
double
I
boost trick.
must have,
Gets you every time.
he did get me every single time. But, and like realistically, he was only doing the same thing. And I was trying to figure out if he was doing this as a set piece. So like he wasn't reacting to me. He was just doing one boost, shooting, boosting again, shooting every time.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure it out because the fucker shot me so fast. But I think I must have met him about 15 times in that game, and I died every single time. And then he's one of these flamethrower guys. I was listening to Caustic Soda talking about arson.
Yeah.
And every time they were on about it, I was thinking of the flamethrower weapon in Black Ops 3. Man, I hate those guys. I hate the guys that use it. At least when they shoot you with a bullet, there's a bit of fucking honor in it. Like, just flinging around.
A digital bullet.
Napalm.
Do you take it personally, Mark, when, people playing Call of Duty or whatever record their kills and you're the kill?
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh, you hate that.
Oh, that would... Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Oh,
Yeah, it's a thing. They've taken out YouTube compatibility, I think.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, you have to go to do an extra step, because I did. I use the specialist that uses the bow. It's a bow that if you get the arrow into someone, the arrow explodes and throws their body parts all over the place. Nice. It's really great. But it's a one-shot kill, like. And I did that where I did it 3 arrows one after another. I killed 3 different people. So I saved that clip, and then I went into the theater mode afterwards and edited it out to just get that bit. Then went, right, how do I put this on YouTube? Because I did this for Modern Warfare 2 or 3. I forget which one. And it's not there. And I was going, well, where's the clip go? And it goes to some PlayStation 4 community thing.
Oh.
No.
And I was going, well, I'm not interested in that.
It's nowhere near as much fun as YouTube, yeah.
So that was the last time I messed with a clip anyway.
Okay. Moving on. Next TV up is You, Me, and the Apocalypse. Show us.
You, Me, and the Apocalypse is about a ragtag group of different, seemingly unconnected, perhaps connected individuals, all dealing with the impending apocalypse.
Yes. Elaborate, please.
Well, let me tell you something about this show. It is got Rob Lowe in it, but it's not The Grinder. Good, bad. We should discuss that probably most of all. This show is, to me, it's a joint NBC and British venture. And you can really tell because they're trying to do the whole like different sides of the world, except everyone's white this time. And what ends up happening is you get a whole lot of just boredom in certain parts where you're like, oh, this guy's very British. In fact, he may even be too British. And then it goes to Rob Lowe and you go, oh my God, why did you take 20 minutes to get to the literal devil's advocate for the Vatican? Because that's interesting. That's a show I would watch about just that one guy. And then it goes to Pam from The Office and she's in prison and I don't really believe it. And then I'm like, what's that show that Shona likes? What is it? Orange is the New Black? That was bad too. I wish that this episode would go back to Rob Lowe. And then I'm about to turn it off, but then it goes back to Rob Lowe. Have I explained the show enough? Or?
No, I think you're right on.
I think you have, because I also only watched this for Rob Lowe. But I'm a sucker because I think I watched like 4 episodes.
Did you?
Just for the Rob Lowe. See, this was on in Ireland before Christmas.
Yeah.
It showed in America much later, so I've already seen the season. Although I didn't watch the end because I just stopped caring because it's a really bad TV show. But Rob Lowe, so I watched the first several episodes.
Yeah, see, I found
Rob Lowe's in this. Did I mention? He hasn't aged a day. He's so beautiful.
If you'd only wear a suit now, you'd be laughing. Yeah.
Well, I would agree with Shona. He's pretty amazing in his lack of aging.
Oh my God.
It's going to, in the watch, like when the apocalypse does start, it's going to turn out he was a vampire all along.
Totally.
Yeah. Do himself and Tom Cruise just like take turns injecting each other with their own collagen or something?
Hugh Jackman too.
Dragon blood.
Ryan Reynolds also.
Yes. Yep.
Ryan Reynolds is years behind Rob Lowe. As is Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman's not young, but he's like...
John Stamos also belongs in this club.
Who?
John Stamos. Uncle Jesse from Full House. Oh, you guys...
Oh, yes.
We're not going back to talk about Full House.
Handyman. No, we made a pact with Shona for a New Year's resolution. We'll talk about Full and Fuller House every week.
Yes. It's one of my contract stipulations when it was renewed for Is It a Bicycle that we discuss Full House and or John Stamos every episode. It's in my contract, Sean. Look it up.
The story that interested me most was not based on the good looks of a certain Mr. Lowe.
That's too bad.
It was based on the conundrum that a young British man had.
Okay. Right.
with sharing DNA with someone else
Yes.
that he was unaware of, that looks exactly like him,
Yes.
and has stolen his girlfriend.
It was his wife.
Or his wife.
Excuse me, his wife.
His wife,
They
sorry.
were at
They were
the-
together
they were
for
at the-
2 weeks,
Yeah.
and then the honeymoon's over.
That's right.
And she disappears.
In the airport.
Yep.
Yeah.
He thinks that she's dead or disappeared, and then he finds out,
And I, like you, could not wait until they got out of the prison bit so they could go back to see what he was doing and what was happening there.
Yeah,
And
the Jenna Fisher story was very weak. She's gone to prison because her son is like a genius hacker, and
she's taking the rap.
She's taken the rap so that he doesn't go to prison. But she's in like a maximum security prison, locked up with Megan Mullally, who is Nick Offerman's wife, who's playing a white supremacist with a swastika tattooed onto her forehead, and the two of them escape, and escapades,
Was
hilarity.
that a tattoo? I thought it was
Escape,
crayon.
It is a tattoo, and is that not part of the pilot? Damn it. They may or may not escape. Who knows?
Rule number 1.
Damn it. Edit.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious that was going to happen anyway. Yeah.
So I wasn't too impressed with this show. Like Rob Lowe is great, and there are elements of grinding in it. And I feel like if they had actually just put the grinder in, would have been a better show. But his character is good. I was very much with Sean. I found the English guy boring. I found the prison scene to be trying too hard. But like it's not the worst thing we've seen this year, but it just didn't interest me, given that over on my Netflix was a documentary TV show where another episode could start in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's a very slow show. I mean, there's only 6 episodes to it, and it's so, like, I didn't even, because the beginning of every episode, like the title credits is basically, they're all in a bunker that is the bunker where people are going to be saved from the apocalypse, or they're watching the apocalypse. I don't even know, but
Or will
they're
they?
all together. So you're seeing these kind of disjointed stories, and you know that they come together into the bunker at some point, and it's just like, well, I know that you all get together at some point, so that means I know you're not going to die before you get there, and that's, I don't really care.
Hey, forget Rob Lowe, but I watched the same scenes for kind of the same reason, because none is so hot.
Yeah, and the nun story was kind of interesting. She seemed like she might have something to contribute, but I never got as far to care.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't care
here's
what she was
the thing.
contributing.
Hang on,
either. She
in
was just
4
hot.
episodes she didn't contribute anything?
Well, I don't want to spoil things.
Okay.
Maybe she does.
So it's a writing issue. I genuinely don't think that the show has any bad actors or even bad performances. The problem is that the first episode with the English guy, I found it incredibly formulaic. Like, it's exactly how it goes when someone's accused of a crime they didn't commit. I mean, you could probably make a 10-part series about that exact situation and put it on Netflix anyway. So really, what would be better is if you just have this guy accused of the crime he doesn't commit and go quickly through these boring formulaic things of you go to the cops, you say you don't know anything, they say you should know things, then you're like, no, but I don't. Then eventually they believe you. They bring in a thing in the alibi. It's just we already know. We already know.
Yeah.
Please stop doing the stuff that we've already seen and get to this guy in a situation that is active, where he is doing stuff. Because the second that everyone finds out, oh, there's going to be an apocalypse, anyone can do anything now. The rules are off.
Yeah.
Get to that point quicker and do it in an interesting way.
Yeah, definitely. What I did find interesting, well, interesting is too much of a strong word for this show, but whenever there's an apocalypse-based entertainment thing, whether it's a TV show or film or whatever, I'm always interested to see how they handle the apocalypse. Do they try to explain away with science, or do they take the melancholia route where it's just like, the apocalypse is happening, it's accepted, let's move on?
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. I don't have anything to add to that.
Okay.
Well,
Or the
it's
show
filler for me
didn't.
anyway, Steve.
Yeah.
Filler. Well, the fact that I watched 4 episodes, I guess that makes it thriller for me, but don't bother watching it. So stop if you're at 1 and you're unsure.
I was so bored watching this that I was kind of hoping when the nun left Rob Lowe's office that they'd just spend 20 minutes following her walking across St. Peter's Square, just for the tourist aspect.
Yeah.
It's filler. Jesus.
Filler. Yeah. Filler for sure.
Well, I'm going to say that it's filler, but luckily it does remind me of something that I find to be quite thriller.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, Mark? I'm going to extend this opportunity, perhaps even a challenge to you. I've been tweeting the official Twitter for the Grindr for 2 weeks now. Mm. And I'll just like send them stuff. For example, I sent them cops and aerobicuses. Is that a thing? And then just see. And I'm going to wait until eventually somebody tells me that something's a thing. Or at the very least does a pun on grinding, such as season 1, episode 15, which is about to air in America tonight. The ties that grind.
The ties that grind. You should think about that for a minute.
Maybe break off a room. Break off a room on it.
Okay. So, yeah, don't watch that. Yeah.
We did our civic duty in this episode.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Okay, next up is the last of our movies, which is The Pool of the Dead. Deadpool. Yeah. Mark, I think you're more than qualified to tell us about this once you switch on your microphone.
Yeah, that really took away my comic impetus. It did. A former Special Agent Forces operative turned mercenary is subjected to a rogue experiment that leaves him with accelerated healing powers, adopting the alter ego Deadpool. So Deadpool is one of the X-Men. It's been marketed a long way in advance, and it's breaking records for its earnings at the box office this past weekend since it opened. It is an R-rated superhero movie, which is a refreshing but risky move on Marvel's part, because typically they market all of the Avengers stuff to kids. This is obviously not available to kids because it uses swear words and shows girlies with their boobies out. But I'll let somebody else get stuck into it there. Steve, did you see this?
I did.
What did you think?
Hilarious. Hilarious, graphic, very graphic in fact, and even more hilarious actually. It's a very, very, very fun movie. It's definitely not for kids. There's a lot of torture in it. There's a lot of slicing and dicing and shooting and so on in it, but it's a really funny take on superhero movies.
As is it entertaining, slice and dice?
It's very, yeah.
I cannot wait to see this movie.
To a point, but
spoil nothing, by the way, because you know.
Not like you do.
I'd be interested.
Shows.
I'd be interested to hear your opinion on it after you've seen it.
I will let you know.
Yeah.
It might be like a year from now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the tax you pay with babies, but I will let you know as soon as I see it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get away in the next week so to the cinema because this is like top priority.
Yeah, yeah. I thought Ryan Reynolds was brilliant in it. I thought he was he suited it down to the ground. He just had that wit and
playful
snappy
cockiness about him.
Cockiness, yeah, exactly that. Yeah, and I can't wait for Deadpool 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, they even joke about it being a franchise, which is quite funny. Yeah, as well.
Yeah, I love when they break the fourth wall in this. I'm not a huge fan of fourth wall breaks in general, but it was so funny. And then he references his fourth wall break while in a fourth wall break.
Yeah.
And asks if that's the 16th wall.
Really?
And there's so good. There's a lot of that in it.
Because like when it happened in The Big Short, I think that made it seem like a very outdated trick to use, and I just thought it's quite comedic. It was to the detriment.
Yeah.
But
it adds to it because you feel like you're with them. You feel like you're with them in this, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of House of Cardsy. You know, you feel like you're with him on it, you know, because he's explaining what he's thinking and the others don't know yet. You know,
it reminded me of House of Lies, the way he did it, actually. They broke the fourth wall like that, talked directly to the audience, and it was a comedy as well. It kind of drew from that more, I think.
Yeah.
The character acting in it is really good. Deadpool jokes that it's a love story. In a way it is. It's obviously an action hero movie, more than anything. But I thought that they leaned into that love story pretty well, and I thought they did an okay job of making you care about it.
They did, yeah.
The homage and the digs at DC were coming too fast and too hard to keep track of.
Yeah. This is definitely watched several times kind of movie.
If you're into
the
Blu-ray, I'm really looking forward to the Blu-ray already. But it has the best after credits scene ever, and it was so simple. And I knew it was going to happen, and I was in the cinema on my own, and the guy beside me, we shared a few lols. was I'd actually lolled really loudly at a trailer, and he laughed as well. So we kind of looked at each other and went, "Yeah, that was really funny." Like, so we kind of shared this silent communion, you know. I thought to myself, I bet you he got Making a Murderer. But I didn't think that I knew him well enough, because I wanted to lean over and say, this is what's going to happen after the credits. I'm almost sure of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it did. That was so good.
Did Marvel do like the 2 after credit scene or just the 1?
Just the 1.
Okay.
I loved all the pop culture references and jokes that were in there as well. There's quite a few. Even references to, you know, like other movies and that kind of,
cool.
not just superhero movies, but
yeah,
and very, very funny. That's pretty much all I can say about it.
It's a witty film.
It's Jesus, it just hit the funny bone, you know.
Yeah.
And it's quite, like I said, it's quite adult. There's a lot of slicing and dicing, but it's there's quite a bit of torture in it as well.
How come?
You know?
Which
I wasn't expecting.
Deadpool is
Deadpool.
Why is
Well,
explain the name if you can, and also
don't.
What's up with the shtick of his character being all like, "Hey, I'm so funny and smart. Hey, listen to me."
Well, he was always like that anyway.
Okay.
Over to you, Sean.
Yeah, but yeah.
Well, I'm not going to explain the name because the movie has some great jokes about it.
Okay.
But Deadpool's character, he was invented like back in the 90s, and he was like just one of these like throwaway characters until someone went, "I've got some ideas. Can I just write about him?" So he had a couple of limited series where it was pretty dark and he hadn't fully become who we know him to be now. And then one dude just got him and like ran with it. And he literally went, he's pretty crazy because of how terrible his life is, and all he can do is laugh at it. And eventually that came to include the audience. That came to include the fourth wall breaking.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, he then since then has had at least one series to do with him. He started off, it was like difficult to get sales, but now he's one of those characters that can sell shit tons of Deadpool related stuff. And when he's in a book, the sales go up.
It's a great name, Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun. Mark, I don't know if you heard me. What was the trailer that you shared communion with your neighbor at the cinema with?
Oh, I don't remember.
All right. Good talk.
So Deadpool has broken a lot of records, as Mark said.
Yeah.
I might run down some of what those records are.
You're our facts guy tonight, Sean. I think you should.
So it's the biggest R-rated opening weekend ever.
135 million.
First of all, the movie cost about 55 million to make. It made 132.7 million from Friday to Sunday.
Wow.
But we need to know the marketing budget, because they've been marketing this for nearly 2 years.
Well, I would also, it would be great to know, but in fairness, they've been pretty frugal with how they've done their marketing. It's just get Ryan Reynolds in a suit in an interesting location, and then it's just ad time, right?
Yeah, but remember they pushed out the test scene, which is actually the opening scene in the movie.
They leaked it, yeah.
Yeah. But no, they didn't leak it. They just released that snippet for, it was meant to be a test screening, like, but there was no great calls to get it back under wraps. So it was obviously done deliberately, like. But I wonder what the marketing budget was.
Well, there's no mention of that here, but it does mention. So one of the things I didn't even realize, it's the biggest opening weekend ever for a first-time director.
Oh wow!
Tim Miller, it's his first feature film directorial credit.
Wow!
It'll be his last one.
Boom! Yeah.
It was also the biggest 20th Century Fox debut ever.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Biggest R-rated Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Biggest R-rated Monday, because we had President's Day over here. Biggest February opening weekend ever. Biggest for Ryan Reynolds ever, and also pretty much everyone else involved in the movie. Biggest R-rated comic book superhero movie ever. It's also the biggest X-Men franchise debut ever.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. It's also the second or third biggest non-sequel opening weekend. The reason I say second or third is because if you count the Avengers as a non-sequel, then it's after that.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then it's the second. It's also the seventh biggest comic book superhero opening weekend, the seventh biggest long holiday opening weekend, the eighth biggest non-summer opening weekend, and the 17th biggest opening weekend of all time.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It is very impressive. Yeah.
And, you know, a little bit about what I thought about the movie. Here's the good.
Go, Sean.
The good is it's funny and fun throughout. The pacing is done well in most ways, except for what I believe to be a structural writing flaw that I'll get to in a second. It's completely aware of itself. It knows exactly what it's trying to achieve, and it does that throughout. It also knows its audience really well. The type of humor, or the types of humor that are in this, is there's puerile, immature humor, as well as meta commentary on movies, on superhero movies, and on comic books, as Mark was talking about earlier as well. And they've got visual humor. They also have great fun playing with the morality, or lack of morality, of Deadpool the character. There's some great scenes throughout where he's either giving people advice or doing things that in movies like this, you wouldn't expect your protagonist to be doing. I also thought the action was great. The action was really, really fun. The soundtrack to it was great. They even have their own rap that they wrote about the main character. I had a lot of fun throughout. And they've set themselves up perfectly. Like, they're going to have, Ryan Reynolds said that his next priority is an X-Force movie, which would probably be an R-rated X-Men, but Deadpool. So basically the Avengers of the X-Men, but R-rated and hopefully funny all the way through. And I thought that they really used the R rating to its fullest, although perhaps on occasions gratuitously.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time where it was like, hey, just have him go in a strip club rather than a bakery. And that's clearly there to titillate, right? It's clearly there so that the people who walk in are like, okay, yeah, sure, it's R-rated. You can have boobies whenever all of the times happen. So now.
I like that, by the way, he's in a strip club and you use the word titillate.
I mean, that's if Deadpool would like that one too. I feel like we'd be friends before I died because of something that he did.
He did say twirl.
I have a problem with the way the film's structured. The way that the film works, and I don't think it's a spoiler because it's the opening frame of the movie, but the way that it works is there's backstory, there's origin story to be shown, and then there's also like the through line of the main plot. And because of that, you're stuck in one location for the vast majority of the film, and then some other stuff happens and it's over. So kind of like why I didn't want to watch Making a Murderer, because the story's over and it's not going to progress. That was something that once I left the movie theater, I went, "Aw." And they even make a joke about that in the movie, about you being all caught up, which made me go, ha ha, oh, yeah, wait.
Yeah.
And then it got back into the flow. So I'm very glad that we won't have that issue again in a future Deadpool movie or in a future X-Force film. I think that, do you guys think that the jokes were parceled out equally? Do you think, because there's a lot of like walk-on roles in this, right? There's some great X-Men cameo stuff, and they all get some really fun jokes. The bad guys get some jokes as well.
The first third of the movie was a lot funnier than the rest of the movie.
You think the jokes were faster coming at you?
Yeah,
more?
yeah, for sure. Because
that's my impression as well.
There was a lull, let's say, just before the last act, the last act, that I started going, oh, where are all the jokes gone? You know, because they were coming hard and fast, you know, but then I was sort of gone, and then they'd start coming again. They
started to ramp up more, yeah.
Steve, what'd you make of beefy Gina Carano?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was well cast, let's say.
But she's beefed up a lot. She's not the shape she was when she was fighting, like.
Jesus, she's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Massive. And I did like that other character. I don't know if I can mention it, can I?
Colossus?
Spoiler? Yeah, is that a spoiler?
He was in the trailers.
Okay, he was. Yeah, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, he was quite a cool character, actually. Yeah. And
what's interesting about that is that he was originally cast as someone else.
Oh.
And then they replaced the actor.
Oh.
And then they were like, well, what if he's just all CGI? Because then we can just have somebody else like be the body and the voice.
Yeah.
And then it's fine. So like legitimately they moved that around. And he's actually Russian in this movie as opposed to X1 and X2, which is great. What did you think of Morena Baccarin, the love interest?
I thought she was convincing. I liked her in
gorgeous.
it. I think she's good in general.
Yeah, Mike likes her quite a lot, actually.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I feel like they gave her one scene that she knocked out of the park towards when her character was being introduced, and then for the rest, she wasn't really. Just the nature of the thing made her like a non-entity, which was kind of unfortunate because I did like her when she popped up in the film. You know,
yeah. She was probably just looking for background female actors to talk about a man with.
Yeah, I think she did a good job. Great job, actually. Yeah. I want to see this movie again.
Definitely,
I'm already
It's
on
that
it.
good. Like it is that.
Yeah,
good.
it is good. It's great. It's a great movie. Yeah.
What would be really good is if you could just somehow have Netflix alternated between episodes of Making a Murderer.
This is going to be a high scorer for me, anyway.
So that's like over 4 for you.
Oh no, it's a high
It's a
one.
superhero movie. Is there a superhero
See, it
movie
is
scale for you,
superhero.
Steve?
Yeah. You see, it's not really like the stereotypical superhero movies, though. It's made for people. Look, it's made for people that are over 16. You know. Oh, actually, is it 18? What is it in the US?
18.
What's
an
R?
R rating
17
means
isn't
for
it?
18-year-olds?
Yeah,
Am I right about that?
It's
for adults.
It's
18.
R-rated, right? But if
17's
you
a
map the
company.
story beats, you can map the story beats from Deadpool to any superhero story that has come out.
You could.
What's your point, though?
My
Well,
point
I'm
is,
just
it
saying-
is definitely a superhero movie. That is exactly.
Oh no!
what
I
it
mean
is.
your stereotypical one where it's a bit soft and a bit sort of, you know.
It's not a kids. No, we're probably just disagreeing on the terminology. It is a superhero movie. It's not for kids.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's not a stereotypical superhero movie. Yeah. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'd recommend a superhero movie. Okay. Yeah. No, it's great.
Take a deep breath, Steve.
I know. No, it's great. I really enjoyed it.
Just breathe through it, Steve.
Yeah. I don't think it's for everyone due to its graphic nature, though.
Mike, you haven't seen this, I presume.
No, I haven't.
Because you will be the last great convert to superhero movies if you liked this film.
And I think you would.
Mike's going to fucking love this.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see it during the week. I'll come back to you on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should come back after seeing it and babysit Celeste so Shona can go see it.
Yes, please.
While you're in her house, watch more Making a Murderer.
I'm really hoping that Deadpool is on the next mom and baby screening at the
Unlikely.
cinema.
You're really not hoping
But-
that.
Unlikely.
I don't think that's going to happen. And I won't know until tomorrow because they only post them a week in advance. So, yeah. So, Mike, maybe I'll drag you to the cinema with me. You can be my date.
Well, I'm just thinking, if I'm babysitting Celeste, it'd probably be more fun to just clean your whole house than watch Making a Murderer.
We should mark this then.
Yes.
I think it's time, yeah.
Sean.
Coming at me first. Okay.
Yep.
This
You're
movie
going
came out
next, Steve.
swinging, and I really enjoyed it. But because of the flaw that I had a problem with, a bit of the achievement of the story was lost on me. So I'm going to give this a 7. Very high, very good 7. Well deserved.
Steve,
Oh, you think I should go next? 7.
I thought you should have
I'm
gone
quite
first.
Surprised
You were
that
trying
Sean
to influence us by going, I don't know what I'm going to give this, but it's going to be a very high mark.
No, it is going to be a high mark. It is, yeah. It's a very, very strong 8.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I had a feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an 8 for me as well.
Yeah.
I think 8 is fair.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
I think Sean is harsh on the writers. They work really hard. And they were told to cut 7 million off the script. And they had to do it in practically no time.
Wow.
Yeah. No, like, it's fair. Like, genuinely.
So they just stopped photocopying.
They had to, they cut, what was it, 4 pages? Something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. I read the article during the week. They cut a bunch of pages out of it, and the article I was reading told what scenes were cut and how 3 characters became one non-sexually.
Yeah. Right. I saw a headline about something, here are the best jokes that were cut from Deadpool, but I didn't read it.
Oh, the cut jokes will be in the Blu-ray.
Oh, will they? Okay.
They've said that it's going to be extended in the
Okay,
Blu-ray.
cool.
It'll be unrated or something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Great marketing campaign, actually. It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did
Anyway.
you see the billboard?
Which one?
Skull Poople?
So they used like Pictionary, right? So it was
Yeah.
a picture of a skull.
Yeah.
a poo emoji, and an L.
Okay.
Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
And then the date of the movie. Brilliant.
I also saw, by the way, a soundbite of Ryan Reynolds being interviewed about, whether women would go see this movie. And, advertising people talking about, or people saying, you have to advertise the romantic angle. And he was just like, that's bullshit. Women like superhero movies too. And I was just like, yes.
And Ryan Reynolds.
Isn't that a great point I made?
Someone had a problem with it.
And I wonder why I clear rooms at parties. I mean, clearly my anecdotes are top of the line.
So tell me, Shona, what animal are you?
What's your favorite color?
Okay, next up we've got some previews and Coming to a Bicycle near you. So the first one we looked at is Mr. Right. And this stars Anna Kendrick, Tim Roth, and some other people.
Sam Rockwell, baby.
Oh, yes, indeed. And it's about a girl who falls for the perfect guy, Mr. Right. But he turns out to be a guy who does hits
Kills
on
people for a living.
who hire hitmen.
This is gross point blank for a new generation.
Yeah, I put this down especially for Shona. Show her what love stories really like.
Yeah, but that is exactly what it is, essentially. They even have the main character in this using the same joke that John Cusack used in that film. He deadpans what is actually going on, so he just goes, "Oh, I'm a hired killer."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And knowing the people to dismiss it, and in this trailer, the guy goes, "I just killed the guy out in the parking lot."
Yeah, she's like, "Where did you go?" He's like, "I just killed someone in the parking lot." She's like, "Okay, I'm into it." And then later on, she's like, "Oh my god, you were serious."
Which I love. Is it Anna Kendrick?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I love her. She is Aka amazing. But she's really good in this, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's like, she's not exactly playing a dumb character. It seems she's selectively dumb when she wants to be.
It seems like she's silly more than dumb.
I'm not describing it very well. It's a strange flavor of foolish. But she kind of goes, and I don't even know his real name. And then the other girl that she's talking to about a man goes, Mr. Right? And she goes, yeah, Mr. Right. It was really funny. Because, not knowing your boyfriend's real name is a warning sign.
Him killing people, also a warning sign.
Yeah.
Michael, you watch this?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You had me at Anna Kendrick.
Oh, okay. Sean?
I'm all in. You had me at Sam Rockwell.
I think we're all agreed we will watch this. No? You don't want to watch this?
No.
It's going to fail the Bechdel test dismally. Like, you can see that in the trailer.
It wasn't for Bechdel test reasons. I just thought, I don't know. I think the casting surprised me. Anna Kendrick looks really good.
She does.
In her
always
in her role. I think whatever this you guys honestly I think the angle she's playing, I think Mark hit on the head. Like she pulls it off really well. It's kind of like she's listen,
I like that angle.
Have I fallen into sexual innuendo land again?
The problem
it
is,
seems to be the train. This is the stop I always end up in.
Yeah. I think Anna Kendrick did a really good job. Equally as good as a man could have done.
Not biting.
Oh, God. Anyway, next one we saw was Hardcore Henry. No, really, seriously.
Mike has seen other incarnations.
No, this is a first-person action film from the eyes of Henry, who wakes up with no memory and he's bioengineered in some way, which is actually hilarious when they're putting.
He's RoboCop.
He doesn't know why, and he's been chased by people who want to engineer more robots, and he has to go and save his wife, who's in the hands of someone else, but he's to fight an army or something. Yeah, so
if she is his wife, I'm predicting that twist right now. So, the way some films seem like a video game?
Yes.
But this film, it tries to be a video game and then is filmed from the first person perspective. So that it looks like it. My first problem is it throws grenades in a way that a first person shooter doesn't. So as soon as I saw him throwing a grenade, I went, that's not a video game. Immersion broken. But no, my only issue with this might be that it's going to be like those found footage films where you get a bit dizzy watching it. There could be a bit of that going on here because like his head turns and your view changes. So like even in the trailer, I said, "Oh fuck, this is a bit tough to keep watching." Like,
do you think it could save it if you had somebody trying to go through a door but just bouncing up and down and getting stuck?
Or if he crouched when he meant to shoot. Like, I hope he dies at least once because he threw a grenade when he tried to reload.
I think this looks really interesting. It did seem like it was a video game to me, but then kind of once I moved past that, since I don't play video games, it seemed like an interesting concept, something that I haven't really seen before. Doing like live action. No, wait, this isn't live. Live action is like made with humans, right? That's what that means.
Yeah, first person
So it is.
shooter.
I mean,
Yes,
it is
thank
live
you.
action.
It is. I was trying to think.
Excuse me.
I was confusing it with claymation. Sorry.
No, it's not
With stop
claymation.
motion.
I don't know. I need more sleep.
I am excited. Kill all the bad guys in order of their badness.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always really bad at first-person shooters, so I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like to win in a first-person shooter.
Okay, so the next one we saw was Black Road.
Weird, right?
Mike, tell us about Black Road.
What the hell was this all about?
I know.
So you have some gold, and a guy whose land is buried on.
I actually do.
Here, look. I'll save you the stress of it. I'll read what IMDb have here, right?
Oh.
In 2029, an ex-military drifter risks his life to protect a woman from her dangerous ex in the lawless state of Jefferson. He's aided by his AI implant, Clyde, who proves partner and friend.
Okay.
So
I
it's
didn't
the
get that,
same
really.
gender detective duo.
Yeah. With gold.
Instead of trying to solve a murder, they're trying to find the gold.
It does look a bit mad, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's
It looks a
mental.
bit creepy.
Mental. It's a thriller anyway, so I'd be interested in giving it a shot. I'd say to get the tension up, like.
Yeah.
So they're trying
Unless
to
it's a trailer that's lying to us, and it's really just a couple of scenes that are tense, and mostly it's just character stuff throughout.
So it's what? Sci-fi robot meets witch doctor, gold hunter,
Farmer.
future.
Gold
Just call it
Haber.
speculative fiction,
Yeah.
and you're fine.
Gold Haber.
It's really short, though. It's only an hour and 20.
Really?
Oh, brilliant. Put it on the list. Christ, finally.
That could be a good thing.
Yeah.
Get in, get out. No cuddling.
When's the last time we had a movie where we thought, God, that was too short?
Deadpool.
What was that one?
What was the other one?
I was just thinking, remember the one, the possessed woman in the Vatican?
Oh, God. No.
Vatican Possession?
No, I remember that one. Yeah. No, not that one.
Yeah.
No, that was
Pope
terrible.
Exorcist.
Yeah, so you were really glad that it was only an hour and 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, we weren't hoping for more is my point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Big Hat, Small Demon. Crucifix this one up yourself. Thank God. I really want to go out and laugh. Jesus.
No, I was laughing at Big Hat, Small Demon. I thought that was really good. You peaked with that one.
Yeah, so that's all we have for this week. So we'll leave it there. Yeah. Anything interesting coming up next week? Anyone?
So if you think you've figured out boost jumping in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I play as Circulion on PS4.
Right. So get him, kill him. Sean.
Yeah.
Zoolander 2.
Zoolander 2, that's what's coming up next week. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
good call. Yeah.
Oh, is that on the list?
It will be.
It is on the list.
Did you see those election posters that were up?
Yes.
You know, there's the Irish general election is coming up very soon, 2 weeks' time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so someone has been going around putting up Zoolander, vote me number 2.
See, 'cause in Ireland, you have to explain, you have to vote for people, like, this is my first preference, second
Yeah,
preference.
1, 2, 3, 4,
so
5,
all,
6,
all
7,
of the
yeah.
political posters are like,
Vote
this
number 1.
person, vote number 1. And then the Zoolander posters beside it, like, Zoolander number 2.
Vote 2.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah. So anyway, we'll leave it there. So from Mike, Mark, Steve, Shauna, Chona, stay classy.